Right now, we have some special guests in the studio. We have RN and BSN of Langley Internal Medicines, Nurse Muriel Jones. Welcome.
Thank you.
And also, Robin is here, our general manager. She is back. And of course, Dr. Willard Maxwell of New Beach Grove Baptist Church. Welcome, sir.
Hello, thank you.
I always call him my cousin because he looks just like my cousin. But anyway, so we are here to talk about an event that's coming up on February 19th. It's the Prostate Cancer Early Detection Event, and it's very, very important. The Hampton Roads Prostate Health Forum is having you register today, but I'm going to let you all get into what's going on. It's one event, two locations. Let us know what's going on.
Well, one of the events takes place at our church from 1 p.m. to 4. It's the Prostate Cancer Early Detection. We've already done things like this all the time at New Beach Grove, but now I think I'm more sensitive about it because I just lost a friend who had colon cancer, and when he went in, he wasn't feeling well. His stomach was hurting, so he went to the doctor and he found out that he was in stage 4. So maybe it could have been prevented. And I'll let Miss Muriel Jones speak to that, but it probably could have been prevented. But by the time he was checked, it was so far gone that was really nothing much they could do. So I was going back and forth to make sure I saw him, and we were hanging out and things of that nature. And then he passed last week. So these type of events are very important because a lot of times people don't go to the doctor. Sometimes they may not have insurance, but sometimes in our community it's almost taboo. Like people think if you don't go and you don't know, maybe nothing wrong with you. You understand? Like sometimes people don't want to find out. But I'll let Miss Muriel Jones go into the detail of the event because she's the one who kind of organized it. And so that's why I wanted to make sure that she was here. Plus I wanted to bring somebody who knew what they were talking about, you know. Right. So I just speak in generalities, but she knows all of the things about medicine. So we'll just let her take it from here.
Well, first of all, condolences to the loss of your friend.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so thank you for that introduction. And yes, we are having an event at the church. It's New Beach Grove Baptist Church on February 19th from 1 to 4. And this event is so important because we know that Black people live sicker and die younger than other racial groups. But what you may not know is that statistically speaking, Black men live 7 years less than men of other racial groups. They also have higher death rates than Black women for all leading causes of death. And when you look at the health statistics for Black men in the U.S., it's kind of sobering because Black men have a higher incidence and a higher rate of death from oral cancer. They have a higher risk of developing HIV and AIDS in their lifetime. 44% of Black men are considered overweight. 37.5% are obese. Black men have a higher incidence of diabetes and prostate cancer. And we also note that Black men have a high suicide rate. It's the third leading cause of death in 15 to 24-year-olds.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we look at the leading causes of death for Black men, at least in 2019, we saw 10 of them. And the 10 leading causes of death for Black men were heart disease, cancer, unintentional injury, homicide, stroke, diabetes, chronic lower respiratory diseases such as COPD, kidney disease, septicemia, which are bacterial infections, and hypertension. And out of those causes that I just listed, most of them, except for maybe 3, are preventable. Heart disease is something that is preventable. Cancer, a lot of those are preventable with screenings. Stroke is preventable. Diabetes, your COPD, 80% of that is caused by smoking cigarettes. Kidney disease can be preventable as well as hypertension. So with that being said, we know that early detection is key. It's vital in order to put a dent in some of these numbers. And with early detection, awareness, education, and getting exams and screenings are important.
Muriel, as we are getting prepared, or you guys are getting prepared for this event, first of all, we want to thank the Hampton Roads Prostate Health Forum for really being super proactive in our Hampton Roads community and investing in opportunities for early detection screenings. Coco, we've talked with Mr. Charlie Hill, who's the president of that organization. He himself is I believe a 2-time cancer survivor, first diagnosed with prostate cancer and then lymphoma, I believe is what it was. But he's just such an incredible advocate. And if you could, Muriel, speak to the event happening at New Beach Grove. We were just talking with the Grove Church team a little while ago that one event is happening at their church on February 19th. But let's focus now on the event and activities that are happening at New Beach Grove for the in-person prostate cancer early detection events on February 19th.
Okay, so the event will focus on a couple of different things. It's going to focus on awareness. It's going to focus on education. There will also be a PSA done by Riverside. Riverside will come in. They'll draw a PSA, which is a blood test to determine the PSA level, which is a good indicator of whether or not a person has prostate issues, as well as a digital rectal exam. Now, I want to clarify the digital rectal exam because when I was speaking with someone last week and I was talking about this event, they said, "Oh, digital, that means I won't be touched. That's great." And that's not exactly what that means. So digital is digit, meaning the finger. So there's a finger, rectal exam that will be conducted during this event if the registrant wants to do it. And we highly recommend both. We highly recommend getting the blood work done to check the PSA level as well as going through with the digital rectal exam. It's going to be quick, but it's necessary because what will happen is the physician, when feeling the prostate, will see if it's enlarged. So the prostate should be about the size of a walnut. And if it's bigger than that, it can be an indicator that something's going on. So both the rectal exam and the blood work are necessary.
And please forgive any facial expressions I may be making right now. When you talk about that, it's like, what exactly is going on? Why do they have to do that? But they have to feel for the size of it.
Well, that's okay, Coco. Dr. Maxwell's very on top of his health, and I was seeing some facial expressions too.
Well, because I didn't. Well, that would have been my question too. Because I was like, "Oh, you don't have to do the finger." That's what I was thinking. And then you got it like Dre, do it your way. Why you got Dre? I mean, it sounds like it's hip hop or something. Y'all, they luring us in. No, I was playing, but it's good.
Well,
it's good that we have this, though. Go ahead.
And we're so fortunate to have a man in the studio
He's a comedian.
that has had his prostate exam done.
Oh, you've had it done?
Dr.
Yeah, I've had
Maxwell?
it done before, but the thing about it is, and that's what I was going to bring up with Dr. Charlie, because he said, especially being a black person, you should get the digital. I'm just be keeping it real, the finger, because digital. I'm thinking the electronic too. Y'all misleading us. So when you have but with the doctor I have, who's a Caucasian, he doesn't do the finger exam, and so he said, Dr. Charlie, can you tell us why it's important to do that? Because I guess they just look at my PSA, and I guess they do check the prostate, but they don't do they hadn't done the finger thing. I'd done it before with the other doctor, but the one I have now, he said is not necessary, but Dr. Charlie said it is necessary. So why would you say it is necessary?
I would say it's necessary because just like for women, so we can get mammograms, but we also need to be responsible and be accountable for our health by doing breast exams. And that is something that can be conducted in the shower, on the bed, but you become familiar with your body. You feel your breast to check for lumps and for other abnormalities, even though you get the mammogram done. And so with the PSA, yes, you'll get blood work done to determine if it's abnormal, but at the same time, there's nothing like actually touching that gland to see if there are bumps, lumps, any abnormalities. And typically, as we get older, our glands shrink. But the prostate, when men get older, can get bigger. And you really don't know what's going on with it unless you feel it.
That's such a good analogy, Muriel. Muriel, what is the age range of men that we're hoping to have come out to this event?
Well, let me just also clarify. We don't want to just reach the men, okay? I do want to say that we want to reach women as well, because we as the women in the family tend to motivate, we encourage, and a lot of times we look at men's health issues as just a man thing, but it's not, because when a man or the husband of the house or the father of the house is sick, it impacts the entire house. It affects the wives, the children. So we want ladies to come out to support this event as well. But the age of men that we're trying to reach are 40 and up, because at the age of 40 and any man that's high risk in general should start testing.
And the good thing about it is when you say the age range, I know a lot of times African Americans, we get sick quicker, like you said, or earlier in life. And so a lot of men think they're supposed to wait to 50. But when you're African American, you can go at 40. And when I went to get my exams, my colonoscopy, I didn't even have to pay a copay for it, because they said I'm high risk because I'm an African American male. And even at 40, you could go in and get the test done. So African American men, minorities, just understand you don't have to wait to that 50 mark. You can get it at 40 and up. Now, how do they sign up for this event? Do they just come? Do they call in?
They need to register. So each site has a different number. For Grove Church in Portsmouth, the number will be 1-800-736-8272 to register. And for the event at New Beach Grove in Newport News, the number is 1-800-520-7006.
We'll give those numbers out again.
Okay.
Thank you, because I didn't know, and I go to the church. Hey, register me. I'm just telling you to register me.
Well, and you can also find the registration information and flyer on our website, which is praise1049.com. We also have it pinned to the top of our Facebook page, which is also Praise 104.9.
See how she looked at me? I got to know the website. Why she had to look at me like that when she gave the website? You know what it is, right?
But I see that you're also going to be featuring some awareness and education seminars for the men and the women.
That is correct.
PSA tests, and you called it DRE exams. I called it DRE exams. And I was saying it. Resource tables, healthy food samples, and fitness tips. But let's go back to the healthy food samples. So who's going to be doing the healthy food samples? Do you know?
Great question.
Yes, Dr. Hill has a guest who specializes in vegan fare. So she will be coming out to offer healthy alternatives to foods that we like to eat, to show us a better way of eating.
Now, Robin, if you don't mind, just like Dr. Willer said about people not going because of the insurance, I tend to see that healthy food might be a little bit more expensive as well.
That is correct.
Yeah, but pay now or pay later.
Well, and Coco, I mean, that's such a good conversation topic. Think about in our everyday, where do we waste our money? On occasion, I'll stop at Starbucks and get a coffee. $5-6 for a cup of coffee? What's wrong with me? But because it's just a simple pleasure, right? Mm-hmm. But I do feel that if something is necessary to the longevity of our life, where there's a will, there is a way. Mm-hmm. And there are so many areas in our daily spending where we can really cut back and be able to afford a healthier diet or support a healthier diet.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I totally agree. I was just thinking, like Dr. Willard had started off about, the African American community won't go to the doctor because they can't afford it, or they might not have insurance. Same with eating right. They might not have the, money to choose this over that, and they just want to survive.
Well, and the wonderful thing is, by going to events like this, there are experts there that cover all areas of where we have questions, or where we may be perceiving we know what is right? Mm-hmm. So that's another reason to go. Even if you're not going to be getting tested, just come on out to speak with the experts. Mm-hmm. Ask any questions that you may have, and then maybe later you'll go to a facility to get tested, or maybe you'll adapt your diet based on the knowledge that you are gaining. And Dr. Maxwell, you are sharing reasons why men do not go to the doctor. And of those reasons, I want to add one more in there: time. I know I'm one of those, the worst people with going to the doctor because I always say I do not have the time. But the same way I take my car in to get service on a regular basis because God forbid I cannot drive to work, then oh my gosh, my world's going to fall apart. Why would I not do the same thing with my temple? My temple should be more important than my car or any other thing of importance in my life.
That is awesome. That is an awesome point. And the thing about it is, whether you have insurance or not, you can make appointments for this. And we have every, third Tuesday? Is it? Every third Tuesday of the month, we have, what's the name of that place?
The Caravan.
The Caravan comes from where again? What's the company?
Bon Secours.
Yeah, from Bon Secours.
Yeah.
They come, first come, first serve. They get there like 7:30 in the morning, and they stay there until the last person is served. So even if you don't have insurance, every third Tuesday at New Beach Grove, we make sure that Caravan is there. And one time, it was an amazing miracle. One gentleman came in and they tested him, and then they found he had a life-threatening cancer, and they actually the next day took him in and did the surgery for free. And they said that if they wouldn't have caught it, he would have died.
And that's why we're so grateful for the medical organizations and nonprofit organizations like the one that Charlie Hill has now dedicated his life to operating, to engage in the community, to make it possible where there's a will, there's a way for anybody to get there, to get seen, and to receive the information they need, to get the testing that they need, instead of having to necessarily go through their insurance carrier to go to the hospital to get tested.
Well, for the sake of time, because Willie Moore Jr. is coming on in about 10 minutes, we do got to go to a break, but we are going to give you the information on the 2 locations for February 19th, and they are 2 different hours, which means you could possibly try to make both locations. But the location that's in the studio today right now, and the location that's before them, they just left for the Hour of Power, Grove Church, and but New Beach Grove is here right now. And when we come back from this break, we're going to give you the phone number, the times, and the addresses of where you can go and get your prostate cancer early detection, thanks to Dr. Willard Maxwell at New Beach Grove, and to the birthday man himself. Oh my God, Dr. Mariner.
Dr. Mariner. Happy birthday.
Grove Church. We'll be right back with that information. Don't you go anywhere. You're on Praise.
This is Bishop James Jones. Praise.
All right. We literally have about 2 minutes. We are talking about the in-person prostate cancer early detection event happening February 19th. And we have in the studio with us our general manager, Robin Vallatudo, RN and BSN of Langley Internal Medicines, Nurse Muriel Jones, and Dr. Willard Maxwell of New Beach Grove Baptist Church. So let's recap for everyone. And we've got 2 minutes.
Okay. First of all, we want to thank Charlie Hill and the Hampton Roads Prostate Health Forum for hosting both of these events and investing in getting the information out. We also want to thank the major provider and sponsors, Eastern Virginia Medical School, Centera, and Riverside, and the 2 host location ministries, and that is Grove Church in Portsmouth and New Beach Grove Baptist Church in Newport News. So thank you, Dr. Maxwell, for coming in today and being one of the host sites. We thank all of our ministry partners that really work together with our health community to provide these very important opportunities.
Well, thank you so much. And it'll be at our church on Saturday, February 19th from 1 to 4 p.m. Our address is 361 Beachmont Drive, Newport News. In order to register for our particular site, you need to call 1-800-520-7006. 1-800-520-7006. And Ms. Muriel, can you let us know again what's going to happen?
So on February the 19th, the Prostate Health Forum will be conducting awareness and education seminars for men and women. Again, this is not just for the men. Ladies, we want you to come out and to support this event as well. We will be holding PSA tests, which is a lab study to check the PSA, and digital rectal exams, which is a finger exam to check the size and the health of the prostate. In addition to that, we will have resource tables, healthy food samples, and fitness tips.
Robin?
I think we've said it all.
Okay.
CDC guidelines will be followed, everyone.
And I want to thank you, Nurse Muriel, for all that you do as a nurse, especially during the pandemic and everything that all the nurses go through We sincerely appreciate your time and your efforts in fighting this pandemic.
Thank you.
Yes, so much gratitude.
Yes. And again, if you'd like to register, you need to go ahead and register today. It's going to be from 1 to 4 p.m. at New Beach Grove Baptist Church, 361 Beachmont Drive in Newport News. The number to call to register is 1-800-520-7006. Again, that's 1-800-520-7006. Dr. Maxwell, Nurse Muriel, Robin, thank you all so much for being here. Flat out, Willie Martin.